So we got to play the popular game, which is let's all crap on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
No.
So I'm actually, what's interesting is I'm actually seeing a lot of people on social media that are like, I'm having a good time. Like, I'm actually enjoying it. Like, it's not, I think the reason people are talking about it a lot is because it isn't really easy to point a finger at like what's actually broken. Like, there's a lot of frustrating things on a lot of different levels. There's just like raw technical glitches where like, I've seen video where like he's getting ready to skate and then he just goes like an inch and then takes off like 40 feet into the air, or like, half of his, body will be like jammed in some sort of object. There's just the general repetitiveness of the mission structure and kind of the way that's set up. There's just the fact that it looks like an up-resed PlayStation 2 game. So yeah, pick your poison. There's lots of things to be frustrated about. Well, how do we find closure on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, Ben Moore?
Well, we find closure by the contract between Activision and Tony Hawk no longer existing after this game, so they may not make any more. So that's closure in and of itself, I think. But yeah.
We're getting Hitman's coming back this year. Tomb Raider, had a great, comeback a couple years ago. It's like it's possible.
Seriously, this was the year of franchise revival.
Is that why we're so hurt? Because we have been treated so well with these franchises like we thought were gone that are now coming back.
I'm hurt because, like, when they go off and they make Shred or Ride or Downhill Jam or whatever, like, they have the courtesy of saying, like, hey, man, we're just going to try some stuff in our own little bubble over here and we'll see what happens. When you say, no, this is Tony Hawk 5, we're bringing it back, we are following up those great games that you love so much, and then this happens, that's extra offensive.
Hubert, you love encapsulating like the soul of a series or franchise, because you get so hyped about stuff. What does Pro Skater mean? Like, what does it mean to be a Pro Skater game?
Like, just those early Tony Hawk games from 1 to 2 to 3, even 4, they had this natural evolution of gameplay mechanics, but they all were just simple, fun, dive in, easy to play, but like, you could get crazy good at those games.
Well,
everything about Tony Hawk 5 just feels like cobbled together. Like I don't feel like I could get good at this game. Does that make sense?
It throws a lot of things in your way. You can get good, but it makes getting good frustrating, which is not true in the old Tony Hawk games. Yeah. But like, you were talking about the soul of a Pro Skater game. Sometimes we see game demos from developers and they're like, so this is our upgrade system, here's a new area that we're showing off, and it really does just feel like a bunch of parts stitched together, and they can be easily broken down. What was great about Tony Hawk and what's great about all amazing games is it was more than that. Like, sure, you could talk about all the different tricks you could do in the skaters and the levels, but like, it had a feeling and a tone and a snappiness to it that transcended all of it. Like when you were playing on school in Tony Hawk 1, it evoked a feeling that no other game could capture.
And like doing the leap of faith and it being called the leap of faith, referencing Jamie Thomas, or even going into like the skate shop to like upgrade your character and fill out your board, and like you see the board come off the wall and all of that stuff to capture like what it means to be a skater.
Yeah.
That is not in this game at all.
What I think is extremely difficult to do that I respect so much is it does have a reverence for skating and a respect and knowledge for skating, but it was okay with being ridiculous. And it found out how to be ridiculous and fun and arcadey without really stepping on the cool skateboarding stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And walking that line is so tough to do. Like, you either go full ridiculous or you go full sim, and Tony Hawk kind of had it all. Like, it felt like it captured skating culture. Like, the music choices in Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and 3 are like, no, this is great. Like, this is awesome stuff that fits this game so well.
Ironically, too, in an era before, like, over-branding things, that was a cool part of Tony Hawk. Seeing Zero and seeing, Toy Machine, like seeing all of those brands and I've been such a Zero fan my whole life. I remember I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a Zero board, Zero jacket, like J.D. Thomas, okay? And this, I feel like, I haven't seen all of the unlocks, but it's like just stickers, right? You can get, like, I saw like a couple Toy Machine stickers. It just felt thrown in there.
Well, I mean, it's a cliche saying at this point amongst like the gaming press, and you really kind of have to explain it, but Tony Hawk 5 just doesn't feel like it has a soul, right? Like, I was determined to unlock the second stage, and so I did all of these really monotonous, simple challenges, and then you get to the next stage, and it's like, okay, to unlock the third stage, you have to do another really long list of challenges, which are similar to, but not quite identical to the challenges you did in the first stage. And it's just like,
I just want to...
I'm 2 stages in, and this feels like a slog.
I just want to skate and get a high score, and you're making me collect marshmallows.
Right.
I don't want to do this.
Right. I mean, you had a lot of collectibles and things in the old Tony Hawk games. I mean, just like in this one, you did have to collect skate, the letters of skate.
Which was cool because you could factor it into like crazy combos.
And you did have to collect VHS tapes, but they felt really carefully hidden, and it was like you had to figure out a cool route and you had to skate well to get to those things. And so it just felt a lot more exciting than what's here. And man, the slam down button when you're trying to grind in Tony Hawk 5, which is a new thing, I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Cool in theory, I guess. Not working.
It just messes up your flow.
Yeah, not working. I don't want to slam.
Well, flow is a good, I mean, if we want to get very ethereal and bring up words like soul and flow, flow's a big deal. If you're just not feeling a game like that, then you're just not feeling it. So Pro Skater, Pro Skater, the name, I mean, is dead. I mean, if they announce a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6, even if it's like 5 years from now, never forget.
No, I think
this
it's
bad
too late.
taste is not going to leave your mouth.
I mean,
so it's got to be something else. It's got to be kind of like a grassroots, like you were saying, something more of an exploration of the culture. Really explore tech. Really have an engine that you see the likenesses of these people in the game, and it's just mind-boggling.
Before this game came out, there was so much hate, and I was like, no, I'm not going to judge. I haven't played it. It looks fine.
I'm proud of you, Huber.
We'll see how this is, right? We'll give it a shot. Little did I know, that whole time, I thought the game was $14.99 or $19.99. Then I found out it was $60. Hopped in, just, oh my god.
If this game was $14.99, it'd be easy to sit here and say, hey, don't play this, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Right.
At $59.99,
that is insane.
This is an egregious sin.
God.
There should be absolutely zero reason you pay that much money for this train wreck of a game.
Unless you stream and YouTube funny videos.
Yeah, but we get it. That's overplayed. Don't do that.
And we don't want to beat a dead horse with this, but you actually, hearing these heartfelt cries from both of you guys, it's nice to know, because this is not a franchise. I was more of an SSX guy. I was more like snowboarding rather than skating, and so that pavement's just too hard. I need the soft snow.
Well, you said, this is it. This is like the nail in the coffin. It'd be one thing if this was the first bad Tony Hawk game, but Tony Hawk games have been bad for like a decade, so...
This was supposed to be it, man.
I'm not gonna go through the cycle again. If they announce a new Tony Hawk game, good on you. I'm not playing it.
Well, your life's Tony Hawk. Thank you for attending this with me. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Huber.